Have you ever wondered how much of your time is spent chasing other people's acceptance and approval of you? A lot of times we don't even realize how much of our behavior is rooted in seeking external validation. We might think these behaviors are making us more successful, more likable, or even more accepted. But they could be the very things holding us back. Now, let me be clear about this. There's a big difference between behaving out of an internal desire to be respectful, civil, or kind, and behaving in ways that prioritize other people's approval while forgetting yourself in the process. One is rooted in your values and a genuine sense of reciprocity, while the other is driven by fear. Fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, or fear of losing acceptance. Hello and welcome to With Samar Naim, where I understand and respect that every journey and experience is unique, but we can always find some common ground to start with. And I don't have it all figured out, but let's figure this out together. Have you ever thought about how much seeking other people's approval might be pulling you further from your true self? Today, we're going to explore a few examples of behaviors that might be keeping you stuck in the cycle of seeking approval. I'll also share the solution that could help you break free. Stay with me, as this might be just the shift you need to thrive and build the self-worth you truly deserve. Let's start by exploring some examples of validation-seeking behaviors. As you hear them, think about this. If these behaviors are holding you back, how do you step out of this cycle? Let's start with chasing achievement. Many of us grow up in success-driven environment, constantly comparing ourselves to family, friends, or people we look up to. And society keeps pushing this message. If you're not achieving, you're failing. So you overcommit and you overwork yourself, thinking, if I just keep going, I can show them how successful I am. But here's the thing. When this drive is rooted in external factors like what you've been told success should look like, or the pressure to meet other people's expectations, it can leave you feeling hollow or unfulfilled. You might not even stop to ask yourself, am I enjoying this? Does this even feel like me? And here's something else that happens. This mindset of I need to do more, I need to keep going, I need to reach the next level and the next level and the next level, it becomes a cycle. You're constantly chasing the next thing, and it's exhausting. The more you focus on what's next, the more you lose the ability to appreciate what's here, right now. The satisfaction is gone, replaced by this endless need to prove yourself again and again. And the hardest part? Some people do reach the success they're working so hard to reach, only to realize, I don't like this. I'm not happy. They lose themselves along the way because they were so focused on chasing the outcome that they never paused to really live the journey, or even to ask if this is the journey they truly wanted to be on. See, it's not just about reaching the top because people are looking at you or cheering you on. It's about asking yourself, is this the mountain I want to climb? Then there is people-pleasing, saying yes when you actually want to say no, bending over backward to make sure no one's upset with you. It feels like you're being kind, right? But deep down, people-pleasing is often rooted in fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being labeled selfish, fear of disappointing others. Here's the one secret you need to know about people-pleasing. Every time you prioritize someone else's comfort over your own boundaries, you are sending a message to them and to yourself. And that message is that your needs come second, that your needs don't matter as much as their approval. And the hardest truth, the more you do it, the more you reinforce this belief until one day you might look around and realize you've been sacrificing yourself for a version of kindness that isn't kind to you. Let me ask you this. How many times have you avoided confrontation or conflict because you didn't want to upset someone or risk being seen as difficult or different? Those moments when you chose to stay silent even though you felt you should have spoken up, they often come from a desire for external approval. But why do we do this? Sometimes it's to maintain peace and harmony or to avoid awkwardness and embarrassment. But deeper than that, avoiding confrontation is often about seeking validation. You don't want to be perceived as rude, harsh, or argumentative, so you just hold back. You choose the role of the easygoing, agreeable person because it feels safer, right? Now, let me be clear. Avoiding confrontation is sometimes the smart thing to do. But if it becomes your default, your go-to behavior, it can cost you more than it helps. Because when you are constantly silencing yourself, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're losing your voice and your authenticity. The truth is, seeking approval by avoiding confrontation often doesn't serve you in the long run. It builds frustration and creates a gap between who you really are and how you show up. And the irony? To everyone else, you're the easygoing peacemaker, but to yourself, you're the one battling what you should have said. Confrontation isn't about being loud or aggressive. It's about addressing conflict in a way that's civil, kind, and objective. And the first step to enhancing these conflict resolution skills is having the courage to face the conflict instead of just avoiding it. Let's talk about another behavior, FOMO, or the fear of missing out. It's that nagging feeling that if you're not doing what everyone else is doing, you're somehow falling behind. But FOMO isn't just a feeling, it's a behavior. Maybe you say yes to every opportunity, even when you're completely drained, just to avoid feeling left out. Or you find yourself scrolling through social media, watching other people's stories and reels and thinking, why am I not doing that? These small moments might seem harmless, but they add up over time. Slowly, you start chasing what others value instead of focusing on what truly matters to you. At its core, FOMO is tied to seeking validation. It's the belief that your worth depends on staying relevant or being seen as part of the group, even if the group doesn't align with what you truly value. Studies have shown that excessive validation seeking can take a serious toll on your mental health, making you more susceptible to anxiety, depression, and a diminished sense of self-worth. On the surface, these behaviors might feel like they're working for you, but they could be quietly sabotaging who you truly are and eroding your self-esteem. Pause with this thought for a moment. Approval isn't the same as connection. The very things you think are helping you gain approval might be quietly robbing you of your true worth. So how do we break free from these patterns of seeking external validation? Breaking free usually starts with awareness and acknowledgement, realizing that these behaviors exist and that they're holding you back. But recognition alone isn't enough. The answer lies in these two powerful tools: vulnerability and emotional regulation. Welcoming vulnerability with yourself allows you to process the emotions behind these behaviors. It's about having a candid conversation with yourself. Why am I doing this? How is this behavior affecting my life? What am I afraid of? What would happen if I stopped seeking other people's approval of me? What would happen if I don't get the approval that I'm seeking? Uncomfortable as it may be, addressing these questions can truly help you peel back the layers and uncover what's really driving these patterns in your life. They might turn out to be limiting beliefs and values, or just habits that haven't been challenged for a long time. Once you've sat with yourself, the next step is to practice emotional regulation. Emotional regulation comes in handy when you are in the moment, in the buildup of frustration, fear, nervousness, or the pressure. It's about managing your emotions when validation-seeking behaviors are triggered. Here are 3 steps that can help you practice emotional regulation. Number 1, pause and breathe. Help yourself reset through breathing. You can try the box breathing technique. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and repeat as needed. Number 2, reframe your thoughts. Shift from external fears to internal values. For example, replace thoughts like, if I say no, they'll think I'm selfish, with more empowering ones like, if I practice to say no, this will allow me to focus on what matters most to me. Number 3, be compassionate with yourself. Watch your inner dialogue. Replace self-criticism with kindness. For example, I'm not missing out, I'm choosing what aligns with me. Vulnerability and emotional regulation aren't one-time fixes. They require practice and regular check-ins to keep you aligned with your values and authentic self. Now, let's apply these tools to the examples we discussed. If you're constantly chasing achievement, pause and ask, am I doing this because it aligns with my goals, or because I'm afraid of being judged? And don't be afraid to just choose to let go and let be sometimes. If you're people-pleasing, before saying yes, check with yourself. Am I agreeing because I genuinely want to, or because I fear disappointing someone? Instead of committing immediately, consider saying, let me check and I'll get back to you soon. Now, if you're avoiding conflict, reflect. Am I avoiding this because it's not worth the effort, or because I'm afraid of being misunderstood or misjudged? Ground yourself and reframe your language. Replace I disagree with you with I see this from a different perspective. Or you can replace some words like you never listened to me with I'd like to share my thoughts on this before we move on. You see the difference there? These shifts may seem small, but they can create space for collaboration rather than confrontation while still honoring your voice. Now, when it comes to FOMO, the fear of missing out, check with yourself. Am I pursuing this because it is what I really want to do, or because I feel pressured to keep up? Remind yourself, missing out on something that misaligns with your actual needs, your actual values, or your goals is not a loss. It's actually a gain of time, a gain of focus, and a lot of times a gain of money, right? This brings me to you. What's one small step you can take today to honor your voice and choose your values over validation? For me, it started with small changes, like not letting a belittling comment slide. For example, someone once dismissed the effort I put into a project by saying, it's no big deal. In the past, I might have just let it go. But that time, I stayed calm and I responded, thank you for your feedback, but this project required significant time and thought from my end. It wasn't about arguing, it was about honoring my work and my voice. It's still a work in progress, but I'm proud of these small wins. The key takeaway is true self-worth doesn't come from other people's approval. It comes from the courage to be yourself, flaws, fears, and all. And that courage begins with vulnerability, emotional regulation, and embracing your voice and authenticity. Start small, start today. If this message spoke to you, I appreciate your support of my channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And if you think this video can help someone else, share the love. And always remember, you've got this. See you in the next one. Ciao.